Hello, everyone, and welcome to a FranTastic Insights. Today we have Jeff Morin from Real Hot Yoga. He is their VP of Sales. Thank you so much for being here, Jeff.
Thank you, Ari, for inviting me to this.
Absolutely. So FranTastic Insights is a really cool forum where some of the coolest people in franchising are featured. And FranServe is the largest franchising consultant organization in the world, and our mission is to help change people's lives through franchise ownership. And we do that through an incredible network of franchisors and franchise consultants who help their candidates explore franchise opportunities. And Real Hot Yoga is definitely what we would consider a cool franchise. So with that, Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit about Real Hot Yoga and kind of what you guys do?
Yeah, so we are Hot Yoga franchise. We started back in 2012 in Knoxville, Tennessee. We've expanded. Currently, we have 5 corporate locations, 1 licensed location, and we have 5 franchises under our belt currently. So we're at 11 studios total at the current moment. And we're in different markets from, South Carolina, New Jersey, Tennessee. So we're in different markets, small and large. And who we are basically is, we are not, we are not traditional yoga. We are definitely yoga fitness. It says it in our branding, real results, real fitness. So we focus on that. Our classes are challenging. So people come in and they're getting a full workout when they're coming in to do it. We have a variety of classes. And that's a really big way we differentiate ourselves from our competitors, where our clients as well as our instructors, they appreciate we allow them to have the creativity to perform their own type of class as long as it's a fun, challenging environment. And we get clients who come in and they'll give up their gym memberships over time because they realize we have classes that yoga sculpt with weights, so they realize they're hitting every body part they need. And one of the ways we differentiate ourselves is the variety of classes. We're not a cookie cutter template. So the teachers and the clients, they appreciate that because we're in the same markets as our competitors, and they realize it.
Great. So instead of a cool franchise, you're a hot franchise. So we'll just swap it out.
You got it. All right.
Yeah. What type of effects is the current economy having on the brand, and what are you guys seeing in regards to that?
Yeah, great question. I think the number one thing we've noticed over the last year is how much pricing has changed for build out. Contractors, they're in heavy demand, and they can ask for the pricing they want, as well as materials going up. So the cost of build out has been the number one thing I say we've been kind of affected by. But as far as employment, that's really never been an issue. And I may have mentioned in the past, but we've been lucky to, the moment you open your doors, we've never had to put a now hiring sign out. There are people who want to work in this industry. They do it. Most of them are part-time instructors who, for example, I'm currently in Hoboken, right outside New York City, and many of our instructors have full-time positions in the city and do this 2 to 3 times a week. They'll teach an hour class because they want to be here. They love it. We're not seeking people out. We're getting different applications and resumes each week, not only for our instructors, but our front desk staff. It's just an environment people want to be in. So in that aspect, and it's performance based. So our instructors, they're getting paid on how busy their classes are. So if the studio is doing better, they're doing better. So the economy hurts where it comes to labor costs. Construction costs. But as far as employment, we've not seen any pullback at all with clients either. Our store sales have increased every single year, every month over month, year over year. So if they're pulling back, we haven't seen that in our industry yet.
It's definitely a priority for the type of clients you're going after.
Yeah, I think health and wellness, they're prioritizing it. They might cut back on maybe a restaurant or going out to eat, but they're focusing on their wellness and health, and they're staying focused on it.
That's great. So what would you describe as the perfect franchisee that fits what Real Hot Yoga is looking for?
Yeah, that's another great question. We want somebody who's agreeable. Obviously, you want someone who you want as a franchisee, but you want them to be, a go-getter. We want obviously owner operators first and foremost. Semi-absentee can do it, but they have to realize, hey, that whole 6 to 7 month period before you're opening and during construction and architect and all that stuff, there's a lot of work to be done that they need to be involved on a daily basis until through that first month of opening, and they have a manager for them to kind of get the business going on that end. But someone with a strong, number one, you have to be a great communicator, because you can do this as a semi-absent model too. But you have to communicate with your staff each day, your manager every single day, and someone who can create an environment, because you want people to come in and feel welcome, and as long as you have that leader who has that sales and marketing background also, who can create an environment inside their business, you don't have to be a yogi. I'm not a yogi myself, by any means. I've come from the restaurant background. I've owned restaurants my entire life. I've been in franchising for a long time, over 20 years on that side of it as a franchisee. So I kind of know both ends of the spectrum. But someone who's really, really great at holding people accountable, being a great communicator, someone who can create a fun, energetic place.
That's great. And, it's good for our listeners to hear that, so they really kind of understand exactly, what you're looking for and important aspects in any business as well. Tell me a little bit about what support system that you offer to your franchisees after they go through their initial training.
Yeah. So even speaking through the initial training, I feel, with me coming from the franchisee background and having retail businesses, my existence, I've even learned over the last, year and a half of helping these franchisees open up their units, the questions people from the corporate background may not understand. So it's been great that I've got like a frequently asked questions list of things, I may not have even thought of someone may have as a question. So we pretty much really hold their hand from the time you sign your franchise agreement. We have you on with our real estate company, day one, looking for sites. We have a national franchise real estate company we work with, and we really do hold your hand through the entire construction process, architect process. I feel like there's not been a question that we haven't marked down and gone through. And then once you're open too, it's consistent. We set out our marketing plan, our marketing calendar for the year. So you're in conjunction with us as a franchisee, because you're our partner during these 10 years. We're not leaving you alone the whole time. We're communicating with you. We're sending out newsletters to you. We're focusing on site visits when we come to your studio. We help you with any kind of questions you have, because there's always questions that come up, and there's always software issues. Even though we use MindBody, which is they're the largest software provider for gyms, boutique fitness, they're a publicly traded company. There are questions that come up that might be difficult to navigate through on a daily, weekly basis. They're communicating with us all the time. So we're always there for our franchisees. And we have franchisees who can attest to that as well.
And that's so important, because when we talk with candidates, that's what they're looking for. They want that ongoing support, and they want that help. That's why they're buying into a model like that. So that's good. Thank you for sharing.
We're always looking for ways to improve, Marie. I mean, we're constantly researching other fitness facilities, other competitors. What's new? Is there a new trend? Is there a new way, a new class we can incorporate? And we do every couple of years. I feel like we bring out a new style class that's unique and kind of just it sticks and holds, and we just kind of grow our base through that as well.
Yeah, always changing and pivoting to what people want. So that's great. Are you kind of thinking about the next 5 to 10 years in regards to forecasting? I mean, I know you talked about like making changes and being ahead of what the industry is looking for, but what are you looking at in regards to where Real Hot Yoga is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, well, we're hoping we have, strong franchisees to represent the brand. And, obviously I think, with entrepreneurship gaining each year, I do feel I hear it every day from our clients. They're coming in one mindset. They just left their job for the day, and they might be stressed or taking a call when they come inside the studio, and then they're leaving in a much better mental, physical state. and they're wanting, and they communicate with me about, they want to open up their own business. So I just feel, even for consultants, I feel like you guys will just be getting hit more and more with people who want to be inside opening their own business, being an entrepreneur. That's I really do feel us growing in that manner, because I think people realize, well, one, they're in an industry with us, health and wellness, that they should feel good about. They're not selling something they're not proud of. They're passionate about it as well, and they realize the difference they're changing, helping people's lives better. Not just physically, but it is mental as well. I think real estate, with commercial real estate not being fully packed in a lot of large cities, I think of New York, you think of San Francisco, and all these empty places now that office space is available. People who've signed long-term leases and people aren't coming back to the office. I think that will end up being more commercial real estate space available for potential franchisees. So there'll be more pickings for people to open up really prime locations.
That's a good point. Because a lot of people they're not wanting to go back. They're content. So or they're wanting to jump ship.
Yeah. And for us, what I've noticed is over the last couple of years is where, a lot of times maybe our 6 a.m. classes were busier, and then our, evening classes. Now it's pretty much steady throughout the day. We'll have 9 a.m. because people are leaving work for their 1 hour for the day. And our 9 a.m. class this morning here, just in Hoboken, was waitlisted. And it's like, wow, there's 40 people coming in there. And I know they're all working, but they're taking their 1 hour break or their 12:15, which helps our business, actually. It really does.
Yeah. It helps space it out. Well, people, instead of going to like a restaurant or a drive-through for lunch, you're their lunch break.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And then they go back. Then they go back to the office and eat after that. So
100% right, Ari. Yeah.
I love it. I need to be doing that. If there is one takeaway, from this interview that you want kind of our viewers to know about your brand, what would that be, Jeff? I
just feel like there aren't a lot of industries that are like highly lucrative, but are also like a feel-good environment where you want to be in there. For me, I've always said, over the last 10 plus years, we've opened up these places that coming inside to the actual retail facility to our business is the fun part. Going home and doing all the reporting and that stuff is it isn't as, but being somewhere you physically want to be in. And again, I said I'm not a yogi in general. So when I'm talking to our clients, we built a community here. I'm asking them about, what do you have going on this weekend? What are you doing for your birthday? What's going on with your kids? You're building relationships with people inside your facility. And there's not many places like that you can go into your business, feel good about what you're doing, and it's still highly profitable. Our numbers speak for themselves. They're really strong. All of our locations, we've never closed a studio down. We've increased each year over year. So I feel like it's a really strong business to get into and somewhere you want to be in,
It definitely feels like a family community type environment. So I'm guessing that somebody that's looking for that type of business would be, right up your alley. So
strong, somebody who's able to socialize and wants that in their everyday life and can create that community, because things go viral, and your community will just all talk. And that's obviously word of mouth is your best advertising. We do tons of digital ads, to drive people to your business. We use a strong company, digital ad, basically focused on fitness brands specifically, and it works. It's fantastic. But word of mouth and the people getting to know the owner, seeing that face, or getting to know that manager on a daily basis, it's going to spread. And you enjoy being an owner in this type of business.
Yeah, that's great. Any final thoughts for us today?
No, I think you've hit everything.
Great. Well, thank you again for being here. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. I would love to speak to any consultants who have any questions. My number's out there and I'm always available.
Great. Thanks again, Jeff.
Thank you very much.